I know there's so much more within me, but how do I keep that inspiration going when it's so easy to be comfortable? And we've all heard that, right? Get comfortable being uncomfortable. That's great. And we should all aspire to do that. But one of the things that I heard today really just defined how I feel. And that is, I'm very uncomfortable. I am very uncomfortable being comfortable. All right. Welcome to another episode of Mindset Mastery. I'm your host, AZ Araujo, and I love getting inspired by the conversations I have, not only within the associates of AZ and Associates, but just, conversations I have with my spouse, with my kids. It really just inspires me to learn, to grow, to continue to push the envelope of what it is to feel and to live a life on purpose. And I think that's what we all seek. To be able to wake up and know exactly what we need to do, to feel accomplished, to go after those wins, to feel like life is going somewhere. And I think we've all experienced the hardships of life that sometimes it feels like we hit a brick wall and nothing works out, nothing pans out. And it feels like just going through the motions where no matter what you listen to, no matter what you do, you just can't get inspired to continue to move forward. Everything is just heavy. Everything is just a chore. There is no inspiration. There is no motivation. It's just a process. And I've been there way too many times to be in a place where I don't want to return to those feelings. And I try to do everything possible to make sure that I'm in alignment with the things that I must accomplish. And that's why I'm so inspired by what we've created here over the last nearly 10 years. But it really comes down to having that commitment to set short-term goals. Without that, it really doesn't matter. If you don't know which direction you're going, then it doesn't really matter. Then you'll find yourself in that place of trying to figure things out off the cuff with no real plan, no real direction. And for me, I'm always pushing, what this 12-week target book has done for me, what it's done for so many agents, not only here in Arizona, but across the country now, of people just diving into it and saying, hey, if I do the right things every day, if I just show up to the small task every day, I wonder what that can do over time, over weeks, over months, over years. And I'm a testament to that. I am the byproduct of that by coming in every day and just going based on faith that if I do the right things, I will get the right outcomes. And then it's re-inspired, right? I'm re-inspired, and then it's almost put into a situation where it's confirmed once you see so many other people do it. And it's an easy step, it's an easy process, but getting to it sometimes is the most difficult, right? Because so many times have we said, tomorrow I will wake up early, but then push the snooze button about 5 or 10 times. Tonight I'm going to sleep early, and we end up, just distracting ourselves to 1 or 2 in the morning. I am going to eat better, but at the moment we're hungry, we stop by a fast food restaurant. And these are the things that kills momentum. It kills faith within yourself. It kills the promise of what can become a possibility. It kills the promise, because if we can't simply stick to our word, then we have nothing at all. And when a true hardship comes around, it doesn't matter what you tell yourself. It doesn't matter what you listen to. It doesn't matter who gives you the best advice. Nothing's going to be done about it, because there's no conditioning process. And that's why we begin at the very start. We don't say, hey, let's go out and just start calling people to convert them to buyers and sellers. If you don't have a consistent flow of just doing the right things for yourself, there's no way you can do the right things for your clients. There's no way they're going to gain the confidence that you will be able to deliver on their promise if you're unwilling or unable to deliver for your own promises. But I want to take it all the way back, and I want to show you what the new 12-week target book looks like. And this has been a work in progress, and this is the 6th edition. And for me, it's a huge milestone because it's evolved so much. And over the last year and a half, it's remained relatively the same. And the order of the tasks, the order of the accomplishments that you must go through within the book are very, it'll take you to the direction where you want to go. They're powerful processes, but I wanted to make it even like a foolproof process, a bulletproof process, a process that will work over and over again. And like I said, without having a clear direction of where you want to go, then nothing really matters. And over the last year and a half, I've taken on so many coaching groups, so many brokerages, so many brokerage owners, so many different clients that we really honed in to what matters on a daily basis, is doing the right tasks, but really keeping your eyes on the mission of what must be accomplished. And again, this is all broken down of what we intend to do over a 12-week process, breaking down to a monthly process, and then down to a weekly process, to the very thing you must do right now, to the very thing you must deposit to right now. And knowing that and knowing what direction to go to gives you that sense of purpose, of accomplishment. I heard something very interesting today that really defines why I continue to push the envelope, because this was something that was asked of me last week. It's like, how do you continue to get inspired to show up every day? Because I'll be honest, I don't have to. I'm not saying I've reached, a milestone of the success or the plateau of the success that I will create in my life. I know there's so much more within me, but how do I keep that inspiration going when it's so easy to be comfortable? And we've all heard that, right? Get comfortable being uncomfortable. That's great. And we should all aspire to do that. But one of the things that I heard today really just defined how I feel. And that is, I'm very uncomfortable. I am very uncomfortable being comfortable. I don't let go of the hardships that I went through. I don't let go of the pain. I don't let go of the embarrassment, of the shame I used to carry around. Now, it's been many years since I've really felt that or I've lived that, but I remember, I keep that at top of mind because I don't want to forget. So anytime I get too comfortable, I'm like, I get a little antsy, right? I get a little nervous and unsettled, even a little disturbed and disconnected. Like I feel all these different feelings and emotions, right? Because I know that comfort will lead to taking my foot off the pedal. I know that comfort is the first step to eroding everything that I've built throughout the years. So with me, as long as I have a simple game plan, I am going to execute it because I've proven that over and over again. I'm going to read to you the introduction of the 12-week target book, and then we're going to break it down on how you can continue the motivation and the inspiration to tackle on the task. I mean, today's mindset mastery is called no matter what, because this is something that came up last week where I was talking to one of our agents, and you may be on the call right now, but I was talking to one of our agents, and she said, I heard someone say on a podcast that we should do it no matter what. And that's great, right? That's, if we could tell ourselves and immediately do it, right? Like, I don't feel like calling this client, well, I got to do it no matter what, right? It would be awesome. But I don't think we fully understand what it takes to have that type of mindset, that type of attitude. It's a conditioning process over many, many years. You can't just say, I'm going to do it no matter what. It's cool to say that, and we may even know that. But without the proper conditioning, without the proper foundation, those are just words. You're going to lose the motivation and inspiration to do those things. And this is the very thing that the 12-week target book attacks. It attacks the doubt that comes with, no matter what. Because someone who has conditioned themselves to show up each and every day can tell themselves that and actually execute and say, I got to keep going no matter what. I got to continue to train for this Ironman no matter what. I have to show up every day and wake up at 4 o'clock in the morning no matter what. But before that, no matter what attitude, there was a lot of pushing on the snooze button, saying, well, I'll just start today at 5 o'clock or at 6 o'clock. And then showing up for that. And then trying again the next day until it became a habit. It became a way you just learned to operate and to move and to pivot. But again, The no matter what attitude, we have to roll all the way back to say, okay, what does it actually take to have that type of mindset? Because it's not something you can simply tell yourself. It's a process of just living up to what you said. So today, if you said you were going to eat healthier, stick to that just today. But at the moment you deviate from that, you got to be able to catch that. And this is something that we discussed this morning with Jermaine. It's, getting that L, right? It's that loss maybe that you said you were going to eat healthier, but at the moment you got hungry, you're driving up to a drive-through to get fast food. But instead of looking at it as an L, as a loss, look at it the lesson. Like, man, I really need to roll all that back. Maybe I should prepare myself better. Maybe I should bring my food so at the moment I get hungry, I'm not stopping and being captured by the easy choice. The easy choice is just to drive through. The harder choice is to actually prepare for the day. So no matter what really comes back on the foundation of how likely you are to stick to a game plan. So I'm going to go ahead and read this introduction, and then I'm going to break it down on things you can think about and do today, because this is about getting a step closer to what you want to accomplish in life. And I love this because we're 6 months down, 6.5 months down, and we're in an industry that you can completely turn your business around and create the type of outcomes over the next 3 months than what you did the entire 12 months. This has happened time and time again. But if you haven't been consistent with doing the right things, that's where we're going to start. And this is the perfect time to start your 12-week target book. And we first introduced it to our top producers last week, and we're going to be distributing them this week to everyone else, because I hope that you're able to take this on so that you can be in those top producer meetings. It's not it's something that you just, are invited to. Is something that is earned. But I think everyone here has the potential to be able to be in that room, to be able to create a lifestyle that is predictable, because you start grasping onto the idea that it's not okay to be comfortable. As a matter of fact, you feel uncomfortable being comfortable. This is the strategy. Don't look for comfort. Look for that discomfort to continue to move forward. So, introduction. I can't believe it. This is the 6th edition of the 12-week target journal. And let me tell you, I couldn't be prouder of what we've accomplished. When I first introduced the initial version of this journal back in 2014, I never could imagine how far it would come. Just like my own life, the journal has undergone a radical transformation. Now, if you were here with us when we first revealed the 12-week target book, it was elementary. And a lot of it was just based on ideas that I told myself that I was just going to do no matter what, that I was going to focus on my mindset. I was going to focus on my physique, on my health. I was going to focus on my family. I was going to focus on my business, all at the same time. Because for me, I've reached, high levels in those separate buckets individually, but never at once. Like, that is a game that most people are unwilling to play because it requires so much of you. It requires intention all day long. You just can't clock out at 5 o'clock and say, okay, I'm going to go ahead and just disconnect. It's knowing that you have a second shift to show up for your kids and your family. And it begins at the midnight shift, right? What seems like the midnight shift when you're waking up really early in the morning to go and take care of yourself first and foremost. So a lot of the 12-week target book, the first version of it was really a philosophy. It wasn't proven 100%. It was just a lot of like, okay, I think this is going to work. And I got to tell you, it has in massive ways. It's truly remarkable what can happen when you consistently tackle simple tasks. Day in and day out, it may not seem like much, but over the course of a few years, the results are nothing short of spectacular. When I embarked on this journey, everything was on the line for me. My marriage was hanging by a thread. My business was on the verge of collapse, and I had lost my sense of direction. However, I held on to one thing: faith. I believed that if I stayed committed to doing the right things every day, eventually I would see the right results. And having that faith as you're starting your business or you're trying to rebuild your business, as the market shifts, that's the hardest thing, because the payout is not immediate. What used to work is not necessarily working now. You're being bombarded by all the negativity, by the interest rates, by low inventory, by low demand. Like it's hard to have a positive outlook when you're bombarded by all this negativity. But it's the faith that will keep you on course. It's the faith that if you do the right things, is knowing that if you do the right things, eventually you will get the right results. But it's a series of doing the right things. Not doing the right things for a day, a week, or a month. It's doing that over and over again. I had to have complete faith that what I was doing in 2014 was going to create the results that I have today, where I have a sense of purpose, a fire in my belly, where I'm getting up every day to accomplish bigger things each and every day. It doesn't come by me being sporadic about my actions. It comes because I have a simple game plan, a game plan that's available to you. A lifestyle can be radically different in 5 years, and in 10 years, you'll be blown away by what you can actually create. And like I said here, nothing short of spectacular. Nothing short of spectacular. Just imagine that. And I got to tell you, I sit back so many times, and this is not to try to, be in a position where I'm bragging or where I'm trying to show off. I'm just sitting back in awe, like, did I actually pull this off? Am I actually living this lifestyle? Am I doing the things and feeling the way I do? Because I yearned for these things for years. I didn't want to feel down. I didn't want to feel beaten. And yet I was going into that place each and every day. Now it's like I feel that fire in my belly, and I love it. Like I could never describe that. I get asked all the time, what is your 5-year goal from now? I said, I don't know, because I couldn't be able to describe what I'm feeling right now 5 years ago. We can all say about the money. We can all talk about the things, the material things, but it's the feeling, the sense of purpose and power that one feels that is hard to describe. And the only way to get there is by doing the right things each and every day. I can describe the millions that I want. I could describe the houses, but it's the feeling behind that. How am I going to wake up every day? That is the core. That is the essence of the 12-week target book. The true essence that is hard to describe. But it's available to all of us. If we have the faith and if we have the trust in ourselves to actually do it each and every day. I stay true to the principles. Let me back this up. And let me tell you, life exceeded my expectation. This journal conditioned me to win. It taught me to stay in the game no matter what obstacles I faced. I learned to trust myself and follow a process that allowed me to stay in my power regardless of the challenges that came my way. I stayed true to the principles outlined in this journal. Even during financial hardships, physical injuries, and the mass exodus of my team, in 2014 and again in 2017, most of my top agents left, but I stuck to the game plan. Eventually, we experienced a surge of new agents, and now we probably lead a team of over 270 agents locally. I am also coaching and consulting other brokerage owners across the country. We have multiple businesses generating millions in revenue, all because I remain committed in following the responsibilities described in this journal. It's truly incredible. I gained so much certainty and capacity during the years that even the COVID-19 shutdowns couldn't stop us. While others were closing their doors, we made our boldest moves. We secured a 10,000 square foot facility, meticulously designed and fully furnished to offer a white glove experience. All we had to do was bring our computers. It's amazing to think back the days when I was scouring Craigslist for a front desk in 2015. This journal is not about quick or easy results, because we all know that greatness never starts with a foundation like that. Instead, it's about building up your capacity and strengthening your convictions. It's about investing in yourself as the greatest asset in your life. This transformation, this success, it all stemmed from the confidence I gained through the journal. My hope is that you too will trust the process and have faith that it will work for you. This is a conditioning and learning process to win each day. As you embark on this refined journey designed specifically for real estate professionals, you will uncover patterns that have held you back in the past, patterns of commitment followed by return of old habits. This journal will help you identify these patterns, enabling you to understand why things haven't worked out as you desired. Once you understand the reasons, you can take the action to change them. The patterns from your past, the behaviors learned from your family or environment, and the hardships you endured will always play a role in how quickly you can bounce back. But through this journal, you will realize the importance of getting back on track swiftly instead of being paralyzed by overwhelming thoughts of desperation. By continuing this process, you will accomplish more, discover greater opportunities, and develop the confidence to take on bigger risks. Trust me, who you will become in the next 12 weeks will far surpass who you are today. You won't immediately see the benefits of your commitment. It takes time to reap the rewards of your hard work, but trust me, they will come. This is a conditioning process, and you must allow yourself to journey through these dark places and then find your way out. The process encourages you to do the things you should be doing more frequently. It also challenges you to go beyond your comfort zone and attempt things you will never think possible. Setting targets for yourself and actively working towards them is the game of life. Setting targets for yourself and actively working towards them is the game of life. The 12-week Targets Journal serves as your tool to track your progress and celebrate small victories every day. It will bring clarity to your desires and aspirations, enhancing your performance in all aspects of your life. The question you need to ask yourself is, are you like everyone else or are you like no one else? Taking full responsibility for your actions daily, no matter what. By setting clear targets and relentlessly pursuing them with conviction and fire, you will determine the quality of your life. Succeeding is a responsibility that rests on your shoulders, solely on your shoulders. You can't place it on your spouse, your children, or anyone else. There is no other option. Success is the only path forward. Trust the process, embrace the journey, and watch as your life begins to transform over the next 12 weeks. And it's hard to imagine, right, how a simple process can actually begin this journey, but it's been proven time and time again. It's something that I've proven within my own life and many those here within the organization and even outside of the organization. Just realizing, setting short-term goals and going after that, sticking to your word, knowing that the only way to build trust from your clients, from your family, from your friends is if you only trust yourself first. And knowing that a calculated risk in your business is the next logical step. But it's hard to make powerful moves. It's hard to make the pivots and the changes you need to make when you don't have that conditioning. So that's where it all begins. And I got to tell you, as I reflect on the steps that I've taken, so many times I wanted to deviate. So many times I wanted to say, is this truly the right path? It's a hard road. Listen, you're choosing the hard road. You're not choosing the promise of someone else or the ease that someone's going to take it, make it for you or get it done for you. It's choosing to embrace this and saying, hey, I will put this on my shoulders. I will do what's required today. And in order to do that, you just have to have a clear mission. And that's one of the biggest changes we've made. Yes, we have tasks. Yes, you should all market. Yes, you should all follow up. But what is the mission for the day? And I'm going to tell you what that mission is. Like every rainmaker out there, every good business person, every great salesman, your mission today is to have conversations, to get prospects and leads. So everything you do on the marketing side is all geared to allow you to win and accomplish the mission. You can't go days and weeks and months without getting new prospects and leads. The reason you market is for that reason. The reason you send text messages, the reason you send out emails is to get leads. But it requires you to be diligent about your follow-up. It requires you to answer your phone, as simple as that sounds. But it's hard to do when you don't have a conditioning process behind that. So listen, it's very easy to know what the next steps are. If you haven't attended the mid-year review, each of you got a text personally from me. Okay, if you didn't get a text personally from me, I need you to reach out to me. But I spent many hours making sure that I reached out to every person within the organization from my personal cell phone. So if you got a message, I want you to check your phone right now. You should get that message from me. That's my personal cell phone. I took the time because I think it's that important. I feel like it can radically shift your life because it's done that for me and many others. I'm not doing this for the sake of having more people in the room. I don't have to hold 3 of these classes. I could hold one and just put it out there on video. But it's made such a big impact on me that I'm hoping that those that show up, it does the same for you. And the only one that can determine if it'll work for you or not is you. You need to be able to trust yourself. But just like my shirt, right? The back of our shirts. It's many reps. It's the reps first. It's the reps every day. It's not just one rep. It's many reps throughout the day. And as long as you have a specific and direct approach, which we outlined for you in the 12-week target book, you're going to be in good hands. Your job is just to execute, so you can come out powerfully and say, I'm going to accomplish it no matter what. But there's going to be a lot of L's in that, right? A lot of losses, but a lot of lessons as well. An L is not a bad thing. There's a lesson attached to that. The problem is learning that lesson over and over and over again. That's not part of the reps on my shirt. Okay? We shouldn't have to learn the same lesson over and over again. Go after those L's. Go after those losses because lessons are attached to that. So check out your phone. I sent you a text message. If you didn't get one, reach out to me directly. But I got to tell you something. After going through this process with some of our top producing agents, I realized that, there's less agents right now, and I'm going to leave you with this. Actually, I got one more thing that I want to discuss here. But right now, there's less agents making more money. And I want to go ahead and emphasize that again. There's less agents making more money. What's happening is they honed on to their skill sets, their consistency. The thought to execution is on point, right? They're not hesitating. They're not delaying it to the next day. If they get a thought, if they get a phone call, they're answering immediately. Nothing is delayed because it's all about timing, okay? And this is what they're doing, and they're capturing more market share. And this is something that I said at the beginning of this in last year as the market was shifting. I said less agents are going to start making more money because this is the ideal time to capture market share. So if you're one of those agents right now that has lost market share, a shift must occur. And like I said earlier, if you start today, this could still be the best year of your life. Okay, 2023 can still be the best year of your entire career. And it begins here what you do over the next 30 days, over the next 60 and 90 days. But I've seen this time and time again to create in the next 3 months what took you 12 months before. But it begins with the conviction of getting things done. So here's some things that I want you to think about. One, I need you to make plans to be here. If you have not registered, I need you to register. Each one of you got a personal invite from me. Because, again, the game plan is very, very simple. It's defining your targets, knowing what we're going after. So you're not waking up delusional, waking up confused on what to accomplish today, and then breaking that down to smaller tasks, which we've done. We've broken it all down, exactly what you should do, when you should do it, and how you should do it. There's nothing simpler about this. And then creating a game plan for the day where you tell yourself, these are the things that I'm going to accomplish today. That's called the main focus and the targets to accomplish. And then again, building that capacity to do this on a daily basis, which builds consistency and staying committed to the process. And knowing that if you fail, if you get that L, it's actually a lesson attached to that. Because if you want the attitude of no matter what, you have to begin here. You can't just wake up and expect to compete with the top 1% of 1%. Those guys are elite. There's different levels to the top 1%. And listen, something that was brought up today in a conversation with Jermaine is being still. Like, really feel where you're at right now. Be in the moment. Are you content? Are you feeling inspired? Or do you have that fire in your belly? If you don't, then listen, this is where it all begins. It begins with the work first. Okay? Doing the action is what creates inspiration. It's what creates motivation. So don't wait to get motivated or inspired to actually take the action. You just got to get up and go. From there, things will start progressing. But the trigger is the action first, not the thought of inspiration or the feeling of inspiration, not the thought of motivation. And just truly visualize what it is. Maybe right now it's just the material thing. But as you start trusting yourself, it'll go way beyond that. Like I mentioned to you earlier, it's that feeling that you get within, that sense of power. And know that you'll have to adapt consistently. The way you follow up, the way you communicate, all that has to improve. But again, I'm always going to tie this back. If you're not doing the right things every day, you won't know what to improve. And being in this environment is a key component to that. If it's been a minute since you stopped by the office, since you've been to a meeting, listen, I get it. Some of you were riding high a year ago, a year and a half ago, and there might be some shame that you're carrying. I don't care about that. We all face our hardships. I just need you to start changing your attitude towards what is possible. And that's why I'm holding so many meetings. Because I know that I am a testament to that. Our top 1% is a testament to all that. And that's how you are able to hold yourself accountable, is simply leaning into those things there. So remember, the no matter what attitude, it's a gradual process that requires consistent effort and self-awareness. Guys, I want to thank you for joining me for this episode of Mindset Mastery. Have a great day, and I will talk to you soon. Bye now. Thank you for joining us for this episode of Badass Agents Podcast, brought to you by AZ & Associates and Do the Work Coaching and Consulting. You can watch this and other episodes by subscribing to our channel on YouTube or by visiting us directly at badassagents.com. And of course, you can listen to this episode and many others on your preferred podcast provider.